All right. Good morning. Yes, I am early and I need to tweet that out. But I'm a bit choked for time today. But welcome to December 14th, 2018. Gonna tweet out that I am live now. So you all are going to be part of my setup, so to speak, as I prepare. Yes. One more thing I need to do here. Okay. And that looks good. Let's see. Chat. So, yes, I'm early, but I need to get this going because I'll explain in a little while when we get a few more viewers in. We are doing Miles Morales from Into the Spiderverse movie today. And I thought I would go ahead and put color on him also. I really enjoyed doing it on Spider-Ham. So I figured since he's basically the same colors, although not quite as the red is toned down, it's more blue. Red is in this center. I think what he did, and I'm not familiar, but I think what Miles did was spray paint. There we go. Why did I want to say spray? I believe he spray painted. It'll come out. The emblem on. So what I'm going to do is take one of my microns here, a 01, since there's so much black on him, and I'm going to kind of work opposite. I think that will be my easiest way since I know from the start that I'm going to add color to this piece. Whereas with the spider ham, I wasn't sure until the end. And then I really wanted to have fun with him, so color did come into play. I will say I've been catching up on some of the Jim Lee streams. And in full transparency, I think I've said this before. While Jim is not my cup of tea for comic artists as far as his rendering style, etc., although I gotta admit, the stuff he's been doing lately, or the newer stuff I've seen, the more organic looking stuff, the less linear rendered X-Men type work that most people know him from, that's what I'm not really a fan of. The more simplistic stuff that he's been doing on his Twitch, I do like that. But what I'm finding I really respect and like about what Jim's doing is the drawing tips. I've been learning a lot on how Jim thinks when he draws. Little tips that he puts in there on how he, takes a shape and then turns it into the correct form, how he constructs a figure. That stuff is pretty fascinating to me. So I always like it when an artist goes into that much explanation of why they do what they do. Hey, Mike Cross, how you doing today? I I got here early, and instead of just twiddling my thumbs for a half hour, I decided I would start. Um, since I'm gonna make this a color piece. So hopefully people will eventually come in, like yourself. I don't know if you saw my tweet or if you saw the notification. But since Miles here is a lot of black, I'm going to go in with this pen first and leave the black areas for filling in last. Well, probably last. They are actually selling okay. The one I did yesterday is the only one out of the spiderverse not to sell. And it's one that I get, it's Peter Parker with a little different look and well, here, I'll run through what I've done this week. That's normally what I do on Fridays is I run through the batch. You know what? Good thing I started early. I got my glasses that, hold on one second, Mr. Cross. I hadn't been wearing my glasses because no one was in the room yet, so didn't need to. But as I was saying, usually on Friday I go through. Hey, good morning, Stephen. Spider-Gwen was Monday, sold. If you're paying attention, Mr. Cross. Tuesday, which I thought was the 10th again, but changed it to the 11th. Spider-Man Noir sold. Wednesday, Peter Porker. Sold. Noir sold quickly. Tater Shed Comics was right here when I started and called dibs on it if nobody else had already paid for it. This is the one, Peter Parker. He has a different look in the movie. It's not quite the look of. This is the one that has not sold yet, so it's still available. So yeah, they have been doing fairly well, and I am now doing a Miles Morales, which is available as we speak. Nobody has laid dibs or claim to it. So maybe by the end of the stream I will, or maybe not. Now, you may have seen, and when I say you, I mean the royal you, meaning everybody who follows my Twitter account. You may have saw that during my stream today, and I will announce this again, since I realize I did start early. Well, actually, two things, Mike. I don't know. Well, if you watched yesterday's episode, I'll go ahead and re-announce it again today, so that if people missed it, they might catch it this time. For this type of work, which is more detailed, I do the tones on them, put more time, etc., etc. Normally they're $50 to the end of the month. You can purchase one at your request, not one that I'm doing that is my pick, but if I get requests, then I'll do those for $40. So having a little Christmas sale to the end of the month, that way it allows people to get in. And the other thing I'm going to do today, and another reason I started early, is I had a job, or I thought I had a job lined up, ready to start either today or Monday through a friend of mine. And I found out yesterday, I thought it was all like ready to go. I thought I was just waiting on him. Well, come to find out yesterday, he only had a lead on the job and he was putting a bid in. And so when he emailed me to say the job was gone, that was not good news for me, especially this time of the year when I am Tap City anyway. So what I plan on doing later today is quick $20 head sketches. No tones, just black and white, and maybe spending 15 or 20 minutes on each one. So not the 2 hours plus I've been spending on these. And if I get some, that'll be great. If I don't, then I will have to find something to fill that money that I had not thankfully already spent, but had counted on at least. It was an illustration job. It wasn't, I'm not really active in comics anymore. So, yeah, it sucked. Sucked big time. So I plan on doing a more quick head sketch. No ink wash tones. And knock them out for $20 a piece. So that's what I'll be doing after this. I will take a quick break. I'm going to go grab a coffee, iced coffee with a double shot to keep me awake. I think I will have to take a break if I'm that busy around, I need about a half hour to get Jacob. He gets out at 3:20. So about 10 till 3, I'll need to leave here. Actually, a little earlier, I'll have to shut down and then come back. Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate I appreciate that. So for those watching, yes, I am kind of doing this a little bit backwards, only for the fact that I know I'm going to put color on this, and I want to have my black areas, and well, I don't want to really color over the black like I did on the Peter Porker spider ham. Not that there's any problem doing that, but I'm just going to get the shapes in first. Actually, I'm probably going to do this spider, and then I think I can pretty much hit everything else with a brush. I'd like to welcome everybody who's watching. I see I have 4 viewers, and 2 have been active in the chat room. So if you're just a lurker, good morning to you. And if you feel like coming out of lurk mode and chatting, please do. If you don't, that's cool. I understand it. I've done lurk mode myself just because I want to watch and not really, don't really have anything to say in a chat, so no problem. Tomorrow at 3:45, I will be seeing this movie with my wife, my son, his friend, and we will be seeing it in 3D. So I'm pretty excited to see the animation on the big screen in 3D. Although truthfully, the 3D is more for my son, Jacob. I could do without the 3D, but, you know, kids love it. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Tater. Yeah, I saw that Epic collection. I think Wills Protatio had put it up on Facebook. I knew it was coming out. I just didn't. Well, I knew it was towards the end of the year, but man, they really are. So, um, is that the Epic collection, or is that an omnibus that has more than? It seemed like an awful lot for an Epic collection. I didn't know they had. I'm just glad it's in there regardless because, it was a standalone project. It didn't fit into, in fact, it started the continuity, to tell the truth. Without the miniseries, the Punisher would have never become the character that uh, that he is now. And it looked to me like a reference I saw. He had a little drip here. These spider legs were just kind of looked like they were put in with an aerosol can of spray paint. Oh yeah. How many Epic collections, and are those paper? Those are paperbacks, right, Mike? How many Spideys are they? Are there? Wow. Are they? That's pretty funny. I got to give myself a chuckle on that one. 9. Wow. What is the cost of those? Are they around the 29.99? Well, US. I know for Canada it might be a bit higher. But I'm pretty sure you can get them at a discounted cost, right? Either through Amazon or a dealer. $35 to man. That's now does the first Spider-Man Epic what did Ditko do? The first 32 or 35, 36 issues? Is there more in there than his initial run, or does it not even cover the whole run? I would like to just have that. Whatever Ditko did on Spider-Man, I'd like to have that in one collection I could purchase. You would think, Marvel would kind of put that out, the Steve Ditko Spider-Man. I think he also did an annual too, didn't he? His run was the first two epics. I'm sure there must be an omnibus somewhere with that. Yeah. Wow, 17 issues. And let's see, Circle of Blood. The first one was 32 pages. That's true. I just remembered that about the epic. What I really miss is the essentials, because I think I have one epic collection of, I want to say it's probably Captain America, and it might be this Steranko and something else, like maybe the stuff leading up to him doing the Kirby where he inked it. But I miss the essentials, the black and white, big, thick books. When I remember that when they came out, they were like $17.99. Wow, that's a lot. Hey, good morning, Ron. I started early, Ron. As you might as you might have guessed. Essentials were great. Loved them. Loved the format. Loved being able to see the art in black and white. Um, Everything about them was just really cool. So, for those just joining, this Miles Morales Spider-Man will be done in color. I am hoping to sell him today. He is available. And uh, it does Marvel comp stuff like that. That's real hit or miss. If they do, I'll get one. That's if. That's a very big if. Let's see. When did you say that was coming out? Or it already came out December 5th? Which would be a Wednesday, because my son's Jacob birthday. I'm scrolling back in the chat. I thought you gave a date. Oh, I see. You asked that DC is better about sending a reprint if it's got more than one story. Oh, it's not out yet. Okay, well, I guess Will Spertatio may have had his comps. The 24th. Okay, well, yeah, that's gonna be one of those ones where I will get a email with a notice, and it's very vague about. It just says that Marvel Publishing has sent me something, and I usually know that it's a reprint book, but I never know what it is until I get it. So if I get one soonish or next week, I will know that at least they're going to comp me one. You know, that huge Secret Wars omnibus, that $500 big box set thing. I didn't get one. Mike Zeck and Jim Shooter got theirs, and I'm sure Bob Layton, I think Bob probably got one. Me? Nada. And truthfully, that type of stuff really, it's not that I want it. It's just something that um, I could leave behind for Jacob. Memories for Daddy, or memories of Daddy. Well, Ron, that's the way it goes, man. That's just the way the game is played. I'm kind of used to it by now, so it would be nice to get it, but I don't expect it. But I'm also not gonna. Like I said, if they make a Secret Wars movie, I won't see a cent, um, or even well, I know for a fact that the the Netflix Punisher, um, my man Mr. Z did get an invite to the premiere of it, and he got a nice check, and I didn't even get a subscription to Netflix. So I only laugh because you know I only laugh because if not, I would cry. How's that? No, I only laugh because of the. It's just the nature of the business. Inking can be rewarding in many ways. But on the perks and on the real creative stuff, it's not. I'm just a production machine. I'm not really considered a creative. I'm just like a little bit glorified gopher, I guess. Now I do get royalties on reprints and stuff like that, so um, at least there's that. But no other perks, no nothing, you know. So what I'm doing here, for those of you who just came in late, well, I won't call you late because I started early. That would be unacceptable, but I accidentally let that word slip, so I do apologize. Those of you who are just getting in, I did start early. Um, that might happen, Ron. Well, Jeff Isherwood probably did get to go to the Doctor Strange premiere because, number one, he did pencil Doctor Strange, not just ink it. Hey, good morning, Shannon. And Bob Layton does very well with Ant-Man and uh, Iron Man. Um, he's pretty much, worked his way into the Hollywood scene via his knowledge and his contribution to the Ant-Man series beyond inking. He's done a lot of concept art and stuff like that for the Spider-Man stuff. So uh, I don't begrudge Bob at all. He has as a few other people, they have better business sense than I do. I wish somebody would get a hold of me and teach me how to handle business. I'm trying. Murphy seems to appear at my house once a year, and anytime I can, at least once a year, sometimes every quarter. Seems like every time I can get some money saved up or a head of steam going, something comes along and separates me from said finances. Speaking of which, for those of you just entering the room, later today, after I finish this cast, I need to run and get a iced coffee with a double shot. I'm going to start another live stream, and I'm going to be offering no ink wash, just, black and white, quick headshots for $20 because, as I explained earlier, if you weren't in the room, I was talking to a friend of mine this entire week about a job that he needed done. He told me he needed it done on the 21st. Was I available? And I said yes, and I got the price that I asked for. He said that's very doable. It's really funny though, because I got an email from him that had a price on it from 2012. I told him, I said, hey, I can do the work, but not at that 2012 price. So got an agreeable price, and then yesterday I get an email that job's not going to happen. I thought he had the job and was just getting my price so that he could get his price, which I thought he already had. But apparently it was still in the wait and see if he's going to get it phase. So that hurt. That's about the best way I can say it. That was Murphy stepping in and saying, nope. So I will try to do some looser, non-fancy head sketches. Hopefully people will be interested. If not, I will try to find something else to fill that time. or fill the time that, if I'm busy, I will stay on. I will have to take a break to pick up Jacob at around 2:45 or 10 till 3, something like that. And then come back after 4 sometime, or right around 4, and get back to it. But they will be streamed live. So hopefully some of that can happen. If not, like I said, I'll try to find something else. So welcome to the 8 people in the room. If you're interested in a $20 black and white quick head sketch later on today, if you are subscribed to this channel, you will get a notification when I am live. If you're not and you are interested, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell for the notifications. If you like what you're seeing now, hey, how about a thumbs up? And always leave a comment down below. You can comment on the art. You can ask me a question. You can pretty much just let me know what's going on. Anything like that. And I will get back to you usually pretty immediately, because I can reply right from my phone. That's how you get those little emojis in your answers. Sometimes if I'm on my desktop, there's also an emoji thing. It takes a little more work. But there's your tip for the day on YouTube. If you want an emoji in your comment, do it on your phone, or if you what is it called? Something about emoji and something. If you it's a Chrome extension for the Chrome browser, and it's a little palette of emojis, and it's really quite cool. All right, so looks different than normal because, like I said, looking at my reference, Miles Morales here has a very dark black costume, so I figured I would, maybe I'm thinking I'm going to put the color in first and then do the black. So this will be color. And this piece is available. It has not been dibbed. And I know some of you would like to see a little bit more before you dib it. So I got no problem with that. I'm wondering if I should fill the blacks in first. Now that I've got them all mapped out. Just taking a break, people. I'm gonna be a little bit of a. It's been a long week. I will tell you all that. It has been a long, interesting week for me. Just like everybody else, it's had its highs, it's had its lows, and everything in between. So anyway, that's part of life, right? Let's see, do I do black first or color? If I do black, I think that's the smart way to go. So we're going to do that. Going to fill the blacks in. That will also... Oh, thank you, Shannon. I wasn't even paying attention to the chat here. I was getting some ink out. And thank you for your trust. Now, these that I tend to want to put color on, I use my Dr. Martin's Black Star matte finish. It's not as shiny as the Winsor Newton. It's still waterproof, but I like the way the black dries, a nice matte finish. And boy, if you saw the digital file of the yellow, I had to really do a lot of color correction in that. Shannon, did you? I know I sent one to you. I know I sent one to you this week. You don't have anything. Let me run through what I got since I got more people in the room now. Monday was Spider Gwen. All right. Tuesday, Tater Shed grabbed Spider-Man Noir. I made an accidental mistake and put 10 here and 10 there. So I did put an 11. My bad, Tater. I apologize for that, but it's a John Beatty mistake. Kirk pulled through with the color Spider Ham. And this one is still available from yesterday. Hey, thanks, Tater. I just wanted to point that out to you. When I was getting tickets to the movie last night, I kept saying the 16th, and my wife kept telling me the 15th. Hey, it's all on video too, so I should probably, uh, like I said, I really don't want this on my thumbnail. It just, my name's already on it. I don't like to sign them, so sometimes when I wait a day, I accidentally don't double or triple check the date, and I was going through, and again, like I said, for some reason I kept thinking today was the 15th when actuality it's tomorrow. Wow, 11 people watching. That's interesting. I guess I know what I could ask Shannon since you're taking this one. Are you still interested in, because I'll announce it again. I don't know if you heard it. I'm having the $40 sale, except for these. I did mention yesterday that the spiderverse ones were still going to be 50. Until the end of the month, I'm having a $40 sale. And I know you had mentioned the Emperor and Darth Vader as possibles for you. I could do those this afternoon if you want me to roll those in. And those will be full tone, washes and stuff. The ones that I'm going to do for $20 later today, if I have time and if I get any, are just going to be quick black and white, not as much work. So I'll let you decide on that. That way I could package them up and get them out to you. Ron has bought a week. Thank you very much, Ron, for your purchase. And I'm not going to say what the week is right now. Hey, good morning, Dr. Kaz. Vader? Okay, you want to do Vader? You want to pass on the Emperor? Ron, you know what I was thinking, and I will get with you on this. I might delay your week if that's okay. Uh, Going into Christmas, well, we'll discuss it. I might try to mix it up a little bit more if that's possible, but I know you're easygoing, but if you want, I can do those next week, but I might want to and the week after, is Christmas week. So I'm just trying to think ahead, trying to plan these weeks, and then it goes into New Year's, and so anyway. Okay, Ron, I appreciate that. I really need to pull out a calendar, because, like I said, I put the wrong day on Tater's sketch. Month and year was fine, but day. So I need a calendar. Not like I don't have one on my phone, but you know what? Truthfully, I'm still, when it comes to that, I don't mind having a digital calendar of conventions and stuff like that I can pull up on my phone. But for work type stuff, I prefer a daily planner, a book, a wall calendar, something like that. Something that I can actually write on, scribble out, and you know. So I know there's plenty of templates online that I can print out, just a nice, or I can even make one myself, just a grid in Illustrator, and keep it and make it my calendar. That way I can put in little areas for comments or whatever. I did that before and it worked out really well. So Shannon, I will do your Vader. Um, Vader later today. Sometime probably, we'll see what time this wraps up, this one. But since I planned on doing a stream anyway today, I will have to take a break to get my son. But perhaps I can get it done before then. I need to leave here about 10 till 3 to get him. Okay, Vader needs the Emperor, so both will be great. Perfect. All right, well, I will work on both of those today. Even into the evening, I suppose, because I know that they will, they're not going to be the easiest ones to do. So thank you very much, Shannon. When this stream is over, I will shoot you an email. And I will break down the Vader and the Emperor will be 40 apiece, and Miles here is going to be 50. So, and like I said, I will, I know you're subscribed, Shannon, so you will know when I'm live, if indeed you can watch. If not, I will come up with something. Or you're on Twitter too, right? Okay. Well, I do appreciate that. I'm trying to think, since you're going to PayPal me for this today, if you PayPal me for the other two, maybe I will, that takes a little bit of stress off of me. I don't know if you, for those of you who didn't hear, I had a commercial illustration job that I thought was a go, and it got pulled yesterday. Not for me, but I was working with a friend of mine who I thought he was just getting a price for me to do the part that he can't do, which is literally working in the program Adobe Illustrator. And I got the price I asked for from him. He said, yep, that's not a problem. I thought it was good to go. I was just waiting for his file to work from. He even sent me what appeared to be a character sketch that he had done. And then I got an email yesterday from him saying that the job was lost, or that, you know, we didn't get the job. So what I might do then, Shannon, since you're up for it, is schedule those for Monday and Tuesday of next week. And I haven't looked at the weather, but I'm hoping, and I know this doesn't please everyone, but I'm hoping I can get back to the 7 a.m. Start, because the 9, that's why I started as soon as I got back from taking my son. I had like a half hour, and I just didn't want to sit around here being unproductive and waiting, killing time, knowing I couldn't get anything going of any substance before I was going to have to start. So I just pulled the trigger. So I wonder how well the DVD release of Into the Spider-Verse is going to do. I'm sure it's probably going to do very well at the theaters. And then the DVD release with all the stuff behind the scenes, maybe some outtakes, maybe some. I always love the how they did the animation. the development, stuff like that. If it's an extremely good movie, I love to watch, or I love to listen rather, as I watch the movie again. I love to watch the director or the actors, talk about specific stuff they remember during the filming of the movie. I do know this. I am going to have to find um, actually I kind of do have one. An art rep. I have an art rep that occasionally brings work my way, and when he does, it's good paying work. But he gets 30%. But it's work I would never know about. I probably do anywhere from 2 to 3 jobs a year for him. And he's not the guy I'm talking about, though. This was a guy that is kind of a freelancer. Has his own little company of one, but he finds these gigs. He is in the California area and gets to bid on them and gets a lot of them. I've worked with him on a couple of things, and it's always been pleasant. I had just assumed, wah, wah, wah. I had assumed that the job he was offering me was approved, that he had the cash, and that we were going to start it. So, bit of a bummer there that that's not how it was. Now, the subject of the email was possible gig, but I thought it meant if my rate was okay for him. I didn't know it was now it makes more sense why he wrote possible gig on it. And dude, if you're listening, hey, I'm not upset. I understand. I just didn't know that you were in the bidding process yourself. Probably what happened is they found a lower bid and went with it. So I got to find, or maybe I need to talk to the art rep And somehow, like, okay, there's no need for him to be on this, but I will tell you, some art reps, they want to be on everything, every small thing. So, you know, to rep you, they want, even if you get a job, they want 30% of something you find. And that's where I need to find out, you know, what he brings to the table versus what I bring to the table. I don't think it would be worth it. 30% of this $50 drawing is $15, leaving me 35. But I gotta admit, on the bigger stuff, it's nice to have somebody that knows how to price it, knows how to do the contracts, and knows how to deal with the agencies that hire him and his people that he represents. So might have to have a conversation with him and just say, hey, what do I need to do? Now you tell me. And of course, you probably, no, well, you don't know who it is, but you probably would know that the jobs I get from him are the ones where the clients are looking for a comic book type style. Now, what really, in that realm, what really kind of is weird and upsetting at the same time is when you see, and I forget what they called themselves, but back in the 80s, there was I think it was a husband and wife team. I think they called themselves the Dynamic Duo, actually. Dynamic Duo Studios or something. And anything you saw, like in Sports Illustrated or other magazines that had like a comic book style that just wasn't quite on target, well, they pretty much had the market cornered. Instead of going to comic book artists, just they were the people. You know, they were the ones that had the reputation of, hey, we do the comic book look. And I wish I could find that stuff because it was not very well done. But man, I can only imagine the money that they were bringing in on corporate accounts because they were doing a quote comic book style. I sometimes feel I sometimes feel that I was either born because I was born in 61. that I was either born about 30 or 40 decades too late to get into that real American illustration age, or that had I been born in the 2000s, it would have been better. But looking back, comics has been good to me for the most part. And working in the 80s was especially, this is where I get a little blinded. It was an especially great time to be working in the comic book industry. There was so much new creativity and stuff going on that it was just, oh, there's that piece of tape that wants to give. I will not be doing those, Mike. That's one thing about this costume that is way too complicated. Um, Actually, the reference that I have shows white lines, and I thought about doing it, but if I do it, it would be with the white jelly pen. And it will have to dry like extreme. So I've kind of discounted leaving it out because it even goes across the red, like the shoulders and the chest piece. So it gets really complicated, and I'm thinking that I like the shapes I have now. You know what I mean? So I think there's enough there, um, especially on such a small drawing, that it's not going to need it. Once the color gets in, I think that's going to really make everything pop. But I mean, yeah, he's basically got, the whole spider suit um, going on here. And if I can pull my iPad over, I hope I don't spill any ink water. Might cross if I do, it's your fault. See, this is what I'm looking at for reference. And you can see on that leg, maybe, where he's got the white. And you can also see here on the shoulder where he's got white. But that's just going to be way, 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 way too complicated. I think the nice shapes will tell the story better. So that's how I'm going to leave that. So now I am going to take a quick break. I need to change my water from black that I just rinsed my ink brush out and change it to clean water so I can do the color. And that'll also make that dry. All right, I will be back in a minute or two. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Back. Just gonna do a little making sure it's dry. And as you can see, if y'all remember from some prior streams, this is what I mean by see the matte finish of the black on this as opposed to the Winsor Newton. See how this, yeah, I got to really work to get some shine. I got to really, really get it under the light. But even then, it's such a nice matte black finish. Okay, now for some Dr. Martens. I suppose we're going to start with the red and then go to blue. Good old AG needs to be in the room. He was having fun when I was coloring Spider Ham. He seemed to have known a little bit about working with these dyes before. Oh, there is AG. AG, you're right in time for the color. I might, Ron. I don't see any of the. Shannon said I could take my time. I was gonna do his today. I might move those to Monday and Tuesday. I was actually what I was planning on streaming today was if I got any of the $20 variety head sketches, which I'll go over that again for those who may not know about it, but I haven't had any bites yet due to thinking I had a job coming up starting either today or tomorrow, or probably today it would have been in my hands. But what happened was a buddy of mine was only in the bidding phase, but I thought he was in the I just need your rate, and then I'm going to cut you a check and give you the job to do my part on it, which is vector vectorizing it. Well, that kind of fell through, and so I decided, why not offer some $20 black and white quick sketches? You know, I wasn't going to do tones or anything like that. That gets too involved. I was just going to do quick head sketches of whoever. But that hasn't seemed to generate any interest. And I get it, you know. And I have my $40 special going to the end of the year for Christmas. And Mr. Shannon came in and wants to pick up his Vader and Emperor on those. So plus he jumped on Miles here. So that does relieve a little bit of pressure, not all of it. If I do stream today, you that are on notification will know. I still have a Thanos that I need to. Man, I've been trying to figure out the pencils to it, and I've got one that's almost ready to be traced again, and then traced onto the watercolor paper. But I got to get the gauntlet, which will just be photo refed. No need of me drawing that gauntlet when I can just size it in Photoshop and light box the shapes, because I'm going to be painting it. So if anything, now it might be that's something that I need to get to the guy next week. And I also have an Iron Man run for you. And that's going to take a little while. But I did actually start it. I think I showed you I was really trying to find out the correct suit of armor. Or iron, as it may be. Because I want to get it as accurate as possible. I know I'm not going to be able to get it as insane as it is in the movie, or at least I don't think. I'm not Alex Ross yet. I'm sure he could do it. But this is why I have started restudying drawing and techniques and how people structure their work. Because for the longest time I had ignored that part of being an artist, and I regret it. And now I'm having a great time relearning. And I think it's very, I think you need to, as an artist, relearn stuff every now and again. You need to go back and revisit, because you're going to relearn more. We do forget. That Thanos is going to be a pain. I'll tell you that. I might rather do Iron Man. Yeah, Bill. How you doing? I've been starting. This whole week has been a 9 o'clock start. Due to false weather forecast. When I looked at my app last week, which I should know better, it looked like every day this week was gonna be probably close to the low 30s to upper 30s, maybe 40 in the morning, and I would have to need to take my son to kindergarten. So I told my wife, I'll just come into work and go back home around 7:30, get him to school at 8 o'clock. And I've also been picking him up because the weather in the afternoon has been kind of worse than the morning weather. And the fact that the last few days has been not rain, but damp out, and just kind of bad. So yeah, this whole week has been at least a 9 o'clock start. Now what I'm doing, I'm not sure you all can see it. Maybe if I angle it, where I put the red there, you can see a little bit more of a shine now than it had before, and that's the Dr. Martin watercolor on it. And I want to make sure, and let's see. Yeah, see, it's a little pinkish there. So I don't want to be going in with blue and hit that while it's still wet, or we'll get a purple color, which if I planned it would be kind of cool. But here is, while we're waiting on this, and yes, I do have a photo of this movie poster underneath this with grid lines. But this is a that's a center line. I tipped it because I wanted his head to be straight. And I drew a line, a guideline for his jaw and his chin. So this is what I need to pretty much figure out this, the proportions of this, and get it squared up a little more. And then I got to put a gauntlet in his collar and shoulder deals. So this is going to get done. This is going to get smaller because it's going on a 9x12. So I'm just working on it this size because it's more comfortable for me to draw at this size than smaller. But eventually it'll all get scanned in when I want to do my final pencil trace off, and then positioned in Photoshop, and then printed out. And then I'll do my final pencil trace ready for inking and underpainting gray tone. So it's a bit of a process. Yes, got to take care of the little one, Bill. And AG, yep. Well, I'm not so sure it's the paper. This is just Strathmore multimedia paper. I think it's more in the intensity of the Dr. Martin's Radiant Concentrated, because this is a concentrated watercolor. Yeah, it'll take some time. The beautiful thing, though, about the Thanos piece is once you get the grayscale underpainting, and then I just get the right shade of purple, I can just wash the purple over top of it, and the grayscale underpainting picks up that purple and tones it so that, all most of your heavy lifting is being done in your underpainting. So, but having said that, it's still, the grayscale, which is what got me into ink wash, is doing that on the Flash one that I did and the Dr. Doom I did for Ron. So yeah. All right, now we got our blue. And I believe I'm gonna, we'll see what it looks like. I might go back and put another shot of blue over this when it's done, just to darken it a little bit, because could be, like I said, with Peter Porker, Spider Ham, whichever one you want to. There wasn't that much blue, but there's a little more blue here on Miles. And I might just want to make sure it gets a little deeper blue. Maybe. We'll see what it looks like. All right, so there's a first coat of blue, and I think I am going to put a second on it as soon as it soaks in, just to get it a little darker. That's good to hear, Shannon. Seems like everybody has, the setting has helped everyone. Tater says, wow, cool when I get to check back in and it has come so far. Very cool look for Spidey. Thank you. And I am looking at my reference and there is a little bit of tint in his lenses. So I think I'm going to do the light shade of gray. The little reflective thing, because they're looking a little flat to me. All right, and I think it's probably safe to put my next coat of blue down to just deepen it a bit. I don't know how much it'll deepen it, but we're going to find out. Not that it has to be especially dark, because looking at my reference, it doesn't appear to be very dark, but I think what I got going on here now is going to be about right. Yeah, I understand the movie is getting really good reviews everywhere. Um, I did see that Ryan O'Connor, who brought this movie to my attention a while back, and I still didn't know anything about it when he mentioned it, but then when it started getting a lot of press, it made me take notice. I did see that on his Facebook he'd put a post up, so um, maybe the later starts have, because he's in Australia. Maybe the later starts have hurt his watching. So Ryan, if you're out there watching on a replay, uh, remember uh, we are thinking about you. All right. Let's get this taped up here and hopefully it'll stay. So I can rinse this brush out. There we go. Okay. Oh, it got 4 out of 4. I thought 4 out of 5. Wow. That is impressive. Very impressive. Okay. Now, I need to close up the blue. Looking good so far, I think. Boy, I'm telling you, if that yellow was not such a pain to scan. Well, I don't want to put yellow all around him, but I think I will dry brush the yellow flash lines that I've been doing. At least some of those going in on him. Because that yellow just scans orange. If you saw the raw scan that I did on the spider ham, it just, it may have been, it just, even though I am using this tiger yellow and in its raw form, it is very much orange, but it's such a powerful, beautiful, golden yellow on the original that it's hard not to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick light gray wash and give his lenses a little bit of reflected light. Well, let's see. When I cleaned up yesterday, I don't think I left myself but I think I can get a piece of paper near the table. Let's see, I'm gonna grab one of these. And make sure I don't get a gray that's too dark. I'd rather err on the side of lightness and then work it to dark. I think I got it too dark right now. Yes, too dark. So, no problem. We'll go over to the next one, add some water. Take what I have, dip the brush in it, and let that ink disperse. You like that big word? See, if Mike Cross was here, he'd like it. Okay, that looks like I'm going to go straight. And let's see. There we go. That's enough tone. Well, oh. I dipped it in the wrong one. That's why they came out dark. I'm like, wait a minute. All right, this one. I'll just get some of the water out over here. Okay. Good to go. Yeah, Ron, I still every now and again I rinse my inking brush out with water. It'll get gunky. You can feel that it starts getting a little bit of tack to it. Uh, and it's just good to keep it so it moves fluidly. So I do rinse it as I'm working. If you just keep dipping it in the ink and don't ever rinse it, it's going to get a little bit gummy. Not really gummy, but it will develop a buildup as the ink thickens in the brush. And that's why, if you remember me talking about the inks these days, It's really hard to find one that was like Pelican yellow label back in the day. I could leave that ink open. It seemed like it did not evaporate or get thick. It was just perfect consistency for pen or brush. And when I filled in blacks, it kept a nice dense black. It did not erase up when I erased the pencils. You know, I have a bottle over here, and I'm curious. I'm going to check it in a minute because I still, even though the formula has changed, it's not like the stuff I got in the 80s. However, I still like it, but I'm not sure if it's waterproof. That might be the reason. Let me take a look here. Does it say? I'm not seeing on the label where it's, well, yeah, not to be used for tattooing. That's what got them in trouble, Pelican, to begin with. Let's see. I'm not seeing anywhere. Let me show it to you. This. But I'm not seeing anywhere on here that it says waterproof. So what I need to do, shake it up, get it all mixed up so that any sediment that has settled will mix up. And what I need to do and what I will do is take a little bit of it out and see if it's waterproof myself. I'll just put some on a piece of paper and then go back over it with ink wash again, or some Dr. Martin's dyes, and see if it lifts up. And if it does, then I know it's not waterproof. All right, cool. This brush I'm using right now, Bill, is a number 3. Yeah, AG. I've used Ultra Draw. I love it too. Yep. A lot of people use the Rapidograph Ultra Draw. The only problem I have with it, in a sense, is it only comes in a 3/4 ounce little bottle, and it's like $7. Although I shouldn't complain because All these other inks I have that come in a 1 ounce bottle are same price, if not higher. So, it's one or the other. It's, you're getting a little more for paying a little more, or you're getting a little less for paying a little less, but it's, it's so silly. I remember getting a bottle of ink for, I don't know, $1, a little over $1 for an ounce. And now it's like close to $10 for an ounce. Okay, people. I don't want to do a full yellow background, although that would be kind of cool. But I'm thinking I'm just going to do the flash lines coming in like I've been doing. I think that would be cool. It'll give it some color in the background. It won't be any easier to scan, so it's not that. So let me just let this dry a little bit. Get my yellow ready. And for this, I use this brush, which is a oval wash or a filbert. And I watched Jay Lee using one of these, and it really, really softens the ink. Yes, back in my day, back in the day of when we used to grind our own ink, we used to make our own pigment. I used to take a block of coal and chip away at it and then grind it till it was a fine dust and put alcohol in it or whatever. I don't know what all it would take to make a bottle of ink, but I imagine back in the day, before there was the big manufacturing plants, that making ink was probably, well, let's see, Chinese or Japanese people have been doing brush lettering and stuff with ink for years, like thousands of years, I guess. I don't know. That's one of those things that Jacob and I would get on, and he'd be like, well, how's it made, Daddy? And I'd be like, it's made with ink, Jacob, and it's a process. Well, can we see a YouTube video? And I'm like, well, yeah, sure, let's do that. So that's how I learned about the Portuguese man of war. Even though they are here, I was telling him about it, and he asked me a little bit more information, and I had to look it up. So he's a good kid for that, for helping Daddy learn. Now I just wonder though. See, this is me taking right here. I'm going over some gray wash, and you can see it just goes right over it. I need to, I don't know if this is going to work because the yellow is so intense. It doesn't really, well, now it's beginning to work. Okay, I must have got enough out of there. Let the sun shine in. You know, now I feel like I need to reload it though. There we go. Okay. I didn't get any, I didn't dip it down enough in my bottle to load it up. Oh, I had a good laugh last night, and I don't know why this popped into my head. I guess it was talking about Jacob. Um, he was watching some show, and, I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but it was great. It had me chuckling pretty much the rest of the night. It was these kids, and of course, it was these kids, but it was more about their uncle, and for some reason he was talking about visiting the kids, and oh, they're not going to like me, or they don't like me, or something like that. And he said, I got to change that. He goes, I need to become the fun uncle. And I don't know if it was the character or somebody else that he was talking to, but they said, yeah, you need to become the funkle. Okay, y'all can laugh at me now for finding that extremely funny, but just hearing that funkle and in context, I I just couldn't quit chuckling. I thought that was highbrow humor, folks, for what it's worth. The funkle. Oh man, a funkle. So I told Bella, I said, well, I guess that's what I am to my sister's kids. I'm the funkle. I'm Funkle John. All right. Let's see if I can tape it down here. Voila. I think we got a beauty, eh? That was actually quite a lot of fun and relaxing because I'm done before 11. Thank you, Shannon. And I appreciate you picking this one up. And as soon as I get off the line here, I will shoot you an email. And hopefully you'll shoot me PayPal back for this one and the other two. And I will schedule those for Monday and Tuesday. I think I'm going to do that because I will be a lot more relaxed, I'm sure, which means you will ultimately get a better product. And I will spend some time this weekend Funky John. Funkle. Yeah, and I'm glad I didn't put yellow all around it. I really like the white and then the yellow. It almost, brings a sunshine glow into it. So I think it's successful. As I sign off, I would like to say thank you, everybody who came out today on Friday, December 14th, 2018. And I want to thank everyone who showed up this entire week for the special Spiderverse edition. If you haven't already, please consider. I know you guys that are in the chat have, but anybody who is watching this either live now or might watch it later, if you would please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to get notifications, give the videos a thumbs up if you like, or hey, a thumbs down if you don't, and leave a comment below. You can ask a question about this particular piece or about inking or anything else. I will reply. I'm not to the point now where I'm so overwhelmed that I can't reply. And let's review again this week, Friday. We have Miles Morales. Monday, we started off with Spider-Gwen. Trying to remember who grabbed Spider-Gwen. Boy, my mind is... they grabbed her fairly quickly. Well, it's in my email. And Tater Shed and Comics grabbed on Tuesday. What's moving here? On Tuesday, grabbed immediately, like literally a minute into the cast, or 2 minutes in, grabbed Spider Noir. Okay, this is not going to cooperate with me, so let's just... He's dry enough, and I'm going to... Kirk came in and grabbed Peter Porker, aka Spider Ham. Peter Parker / Spider-Man version from the Spider-Verse movie. Still available. Haven't put it in my store yet, but it is available. If you'd like it, contact me, or I'll hang on to it and see what happens. So that's it. I can let you know that next Monday and Tuesday we are starting out with 2 Star Wars characters, and that may... Oh, that's right. Paul did. Thank you, Ron. Shannon kicking me off. Thank you, AG. I appreciate that. Shannon may kick me off into a Star Wars week. Since I'm doing Vader and the Emperor, I might have to throw in I always forget his name. Oh, Boba Fett. Boba Fett. And 2 more, which I'll have to look and see. I'm not really... Well, Steven, if you want to put in a request for my quick sketches today, if you shoot me an email. Did you want more than one, or did you want just one? Two? Okay. Do you have my email, Steven? I can't remember which Steven you are. Are you the Steven that got Cap? Oh, and by the way, you guys, I did send out mail on Tuesday, so anybody that's expecting something from me should be getting it today or tomorrow at the latest, depending on your mail, because it is the holiday season. Oh, okay. Yeah, shoot me an email right now because I'm going to go over and send Shannon an email. So let me know who you want, and I'll send you the PayPal information again just so you have it. And since you want those, like I said, I'm going to go out and grab a coffee, and I will probably start around 12 or 12:30 and do those then, since you want some. All right. So anyway, that's going to end it for today. Very good, AG. So if I don't see you all later, those of you who can make it back, please do. Otherwise, have a safe weekend. Have a great Friday. And I will see you back here on Monday. And let's go ahead and call it a Star Wars week. I think there might be some Star Wars fans out there who, once I get some stuff going, might want to pick it up. All right. Hope everybody has a great, like I said, great Friday and a wonderful weekend. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Until later today or next week.